The principle is that we're here for everybody. The majority of our clients are people who are going through financial difficulties, but we're not exclusively for any particular client group. We're here for anybody who needs us.
So you can get issues regarding benefits, issues regarding consumer, housing, employment, immigration, all sorts of different things.
Actually, it can help any single person who lives in Eastbourne, and that's the thing that I hadn't realised. That a good friend of mine actually came to Citizens Advice in Eastbourne and actually said to me, I'm the last person I thought would ever need Citizens Advice. But it's because it's so broad and varied.
And that's something in this day and age of a call centre that I think we've lost a bit. You phone a central number and you could be talking to anybody anywhere. But the good thing about Citizens Advice is it's a local organisation serving local people.
There was an occasion about 6 months ago where a person rang. A phone call came through towards the end of a Thursday. We were within half an hour of closing, I suppose. And that person was responsible for 2 young children, where I was just about to go and pick them up from school. And they were living in a flat, 1-bedroom flat, with mold on the walls, which was affecting the children. And they just broke down. And I almost broke down as well. And I thought, and after I got this information, with the support of people in here, within half an hour, before the end of the session, we'd organised that this person could have a food delivery to their door, which would see them through the 2 or 3 days. But in half an hour, we were able to say, you're okay, you're solved. And you go away feeling, my goodness, I feel good having done that.
Very often people say, nobody else has listened to me. Thank you so much for listening. Nobody else can be bothered. And I can spend an hour and a half, 2 hours on the phone to one person.
We do have a really good volunteer team here, and they're such lovely people to work with. And I think that's what makes me sort of motivated, I suppose, to come in to my jobs, is obviously helping people with the problems that they face, but actually working with the people around. And when you actually work with volunteers that are coming in here because they want to, they're not being paid to come and do the job, they're coming in here because they want to help people, that's quite special, I think.
I'm astounded by the knowledge and the help and just the ability to understand the way the world works that some people have got in this office, and the willingness they've got to just to pass it on.
But I think people are really pleasantly surprised by how effective volunteers are and how thorough and dedicated they are, and what kind of service they actually do receive for free whenever they need it, and on whatever subject, however many times they need help.
Well, one of the cases that I sat in on with the client's permission was about someone whose cat had allegedly been damaging a neighbour's property. Turned out that it was a scam that was running, that people are getting their animals with little notices on their collars saying you owe me thousands of pounds. So, but that's the breadth of knowledge that the advisors can take and give to the clients that come to you. We compile reports, and then we would give that to the National Citizens Advice, and it would go to government.
We also do this locally, so some of the subjects that come up are local. We've covered all sorts of different things, particularly at the moment we're looking at benefits for people with sickness and disability problems and the issues that come up from those, and plenty of recommendations about what needs to change with that.
The facts and figures that come out demonstrate that without us, the government and the local council will be paying an awful lot more money, and there will be an awful lot of other people in debt or struggling.
You realise how many people would probably give up if we weren't here, I think. So we might help people with benefit appeals, which is quite a long, drawn-out process. And I just sort of think if we weren't here to help people, they would probably at that first stage think, oh, what's the point? And then maybe end up living in sort of poverty if they don't have enough money coming in.
Pretty much every case that comes, there mostly are people who are at their wits' end and desperate for help. And the sense of relief when they walk through the door, that there's someone at reception to welcome them, ask them what the problem is, reassure them that they can get help. It may not be there and then that moment, but they will get help from someone. And you can almost see the relief coming off the shoulders of some of the clients that come in.
I have sort of been aware of Citizens Advice for a couple of years before I started as a volunteer, but I do think that a lot of people are under the impression it's run by the government or it's sort of a branch of the local council.
So we are always on the lookout for more funding, and what we're trying to do is encourage the local community to think of us as a charity that they support, so that they can make sure that it's available for future generations from now on. You never know when you might need us. So we're a good charity to support as a local charity. We don't often get thought of as a charity the way other things do, but that's a really important message to get out there.